Hello. Welcome to my mock draft. This is going to be a pretty standard one. You should be able to copy this almost exactly for your league settings. Pretty casual league settings. 1 QB, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, 7 benches. It's going to be a full PPR. I'm not doing kickers and defense. It's too early. I will be drafting from the third because I think that is by far the hardest decision of the first round. Will be in full PPR for that third pick because you have Derrick Henry, Alvin Kamara, and Saquon Barkley that can all be doing it. I'll be doing this draft against the robots, so a lot of their picks will be bad, but in real life, there should be some bad picks anyway. Got a dog back here. Maybe the All-Star game will be starting soon. We'll see. So let's kick it off. So, like usual, Christian McCaffrey, Dalvin Cook, they come off the board. Pretty standard choice here. The thing wants me to choose Alvin Kamara, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry. Obviously, I'm not going to choose Tyreek Hill. In my rankings over here, I have Saquon third, Alvin Kamara fourth, Derrick Henry fifth. Pretty exact on how it is. I do have the tiers broken up a little bit different. I do have Christian McCaffrey in his own tier, and then Dalvin Cook, Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry. And I also have Jonathan Taylor with them. So had I gotten the fifth pick here, I would consider taking Jonathan Taylor over Derrick Henry. But I know that he's injured. He's getting off the injury. I know that Kamara has quarterback issues. I don't really care about injuries or quarterback issues. But I am going to use the tiebreaker of age. And Barkley is just a little bit younger. So I will be going with Barkley. I really like young teams because I think that they have a lot of potential. And the trade value could be better because then you can convince people that their value is about to rise rather than fall with these veterans. And I like having young players. Also helps with the waiver wire. Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley. Okay, let's see how the draft board falls. So then we get Zeke, Metcalf, Kamara, Taylor, Henry, Eckler. Ooh, Chubb went early. Kelsey went early. Hill went super late. I mean, I don't understand how the robot picked DK Metcalf at the 105, but to be fair, by the time the 210 came back around, these are pretty much all the players that would get taken. If this was half PPR, I would be expecting Joe Mixon, Antonio Gibson to not be here. But with the full PPR, they both make it. In my rankings, I do have Mixon number 10 running back overall. I have him above Aaron Jones, kind of just waiting on Aaron Rodgers news. Chubb, I just have firmly behind Mixon just because Kareem Hunt is there, and he's not getting the passing down role. And yeah, there are red flags with Mixon, but Mixon doesn't have Giovanni Bernard again. Like, it'd be silly for me to rank Chubb above Mixon. In the next tier below, I have Gibson. So, I do like Gibson here. But with Mixon still on the board, there's no way I'm getting away from it. So, if I go over to my wide receiver rankings over here, and then I check the wide receivers on the board. A.J. Brown, still hitting here. I have him as my wide receiver 9. I have Keenan Allen above him. I'm pretty confident I can get Keenan Allen at the 303. I'm very, very not confident I can get Joe Mixon or Antonio Gibson at the 303. But I know I can get Keenan Allen, Allen Robinson, or Darren Waller, George Kittle. And with all that being said, I know that the one guy I'm not getting is Joe Mixon, and I have him ranked highest. I know that his situation isn't good with the injury concerns, but losing Giovanni Bernard is just so huge. It's so huge. Okay, Edwards-Helaire fell, so Kittle, Waller, Gibson, A.J. Brown, all the ones that I predicted would go away, and Keenan Allen has fallen to us. This is exactly what I thought would happen. I have Waller ahead of Kittle, but A.J. Brown probably wasn't going to make it either. I did have Keenan Allen above A.J. Brown, though. So Keenan Allen, somebody that I like around this price. I definitely have him slightly above consensus, but realistically, they're all kind of in the same tier, this kind of tier 2. Allen Robinson to Justin Jefferson, I kind of have them all finishing around the same place. McLaurin I have firmly at number 15 wide receiver, but they have him as 12, so I never end up drafting McLaurin. Looks like there's going to be a long time before it comes back to me. So I'm going to take Keenan Allen, and then we'll see what gets taken. Okay, Mahomes, Josh Allen went. Pretty standard. Oh, wow, a lot of wide receivers. Oh, and Mike Davis went early. He's somebody I like. So it looks like Montgomery has fallen. I could take Montgomery for a third running back. I really hate all of the wide receivers in this range. So I would have loved getting Robert Woods, CeeDee Lamb, Amari Cooper, Mike Evans. I would not have considered Cooper Kupp, DJ Moore, Chris Godwin until the 5 spot over here. So I don't like what happened with wide receiver. It looks like they all got taken off the board. This is pretty standard for running backs. Swift fell a little bit far. Pretty standard. Josh Allen got taken pretty early. So with Montgomery still sitting here, and with this new recent news of Tariq Cohen not necessarily going to be fully healthy, and with David Montgomery proving himself as a bell cow running back that can catch passes out of the backfield, and the improvement of Justin Fields, I will probably be taking David Montgomery. Let's check their rankings. I mean, I can't imagine any other choice here. Maybe Hawkinson and tight end premium or Pitts, but let's go with Montgomery, and we'll see who gets taken here. So, Tien, Hunt, Gaskin still on the board. I don't know if I'm going to take a 4th running back. I like to do wide receivers generally in this range. T. Higgins still here. T. Higgins, someone that I love. I think he's going to be better than Jamar Chase for this year. Ayuk, I have him slightly below Higgins. Check my rankings over here. So I clearly have a drop-off in tiers. I actually have Deontay Johnson as my wide receiver 32. I have Juju at 31 and Chase Claypool at 33. I don't even touch Deontay Johnson. He just had so much volume last season and did nothing with it. I can't imagine he ever gets this volume again. So my clear tier 3 wide receivers are all gone. And T. Higgins is my highest in tier 4, slightly above of Ayuk. Andy's a little bit easier to stack, or they're pretty easy to stack. They're both easier to stack. Ayuk is a freebie with Trey Lance. I'm gonna take T. Higgins here. I think he can outproduce Jamar Chase. The one thing I'm worried with is if all of these running backs, like up to Javonte Williams, go, by the time it gets back to me, I'm going to be skipping on my 4th running back for quite a while. Till like round 8 or 9 or 10. So that's a little bit worrying. I'm not considering Kyler Murray here unless I had a stack. If he makes it back to me, then maybe, but right now, I'm kind of looking like, maybe in the 6th or 7th, I could be grabbing Justin Herbert, get this Keenan Allen stack. I am not taking tight end here. So let's take my guy T. Higgins. Okay, quarterbacks and tight ends all went off. Okay. I don't really want Javonte Williams. Chase Edmonds. Meh. Just a big meh. I'm such a big meh. That's not what I wanted to happen. I got taken 2 picks before. I would have loved Kareem Hunt in the 6th. As my running back 4. Oh, wow. A lot of noises coming from the outside. I apologize. Juju, Robbie Anderson. I mean, I can be taking Juju here. I absolutely can be. And then just hoping that Justin Herbert makes it around the turn. just like Chase Edmonds, Javonte Williams. I would be fine with in the 7th. So that's 2. Juju, Robbie Anderson, I'd be fine with being in the 7th. So that's 4 picks. So those would be my, if those 4 go off the board, then I'm dicked. But I kind of have them all around the same tier. If those exact 4 go off the board, I'm dicked. But I don't want Justin Herbert to go away. I really want this stack with Keenan Allen. And I'm willing to reach on a quarterback knowing that all of my guys that I can get are pretty much in the same tier for me. Robbie Anderson, Juju, Chase Edmonds, and Javonte Williams. If all of them are able to come back to me, I will be extremely happy. I will be very happy. So, Justin Herbert it is. Okay, luckily 2 QBs went off the board. So I get my choice of Chase Edmonds and Robbie Anderson and Javonte Williams. I believe I have Chase Edmonds above Javonte Williams. I have him 1 spot above Javonte Williams. They're in the same tier with Josh Jacob and Fournette. It's not good. I expected them to kind of choose one for me. I go down to my wide receiver rankings. I've got Robbie Anderson at number 30. So slightly above consensus, and he fell to me. I just have the strongest feeling ever that, like, they're just not even going to take running back, and all of the wide receivers are going to go away. And I think that Robbie Anderson is just going to end up being... I don't have the tier breakups correct here, right? These are kind of just like the guys I like, and then the guys I don't like. This is a tough one. I just have the strangest feeling that Javonte or Chase Edmonds could make it back. I just have the strangest feeling. I've got a strange feeling about them. I think they've got a chance. I think I'm going to take Robbie Anderson here in the beginning of the 7th with hopes that Sam Darnold is an upgrade at quarterback compared to Teddy Bridgewater, which should be shown by the contract they gave him. So, Robbie Anderson. Let's see. Ooh, Curtis Samuel. He's someone that I like following me. Oh, Chase Edmonds. Javonte Williams. All right. Well, they fell pretty far. They probably fell pretty far. All right. All the quarterbacks are gone. I'm so glad I grabbed Justin Herbert when I did. That would have been atrocious if it had come back to me, and the next QB that's left is going to be Ryan Tannehill, because my other stack is Joe Burrow with T. Higgins. And I'm definitely going to end up trying to take Sam Darnold later, or Trey Lance, or Daniel Jones to stack with my Saquon Barkley. But Joe Burrow would have been somebody that I definitely wouldn't have reached for in the 7th or 8th. But him going off the board is kind of disappointing. If he fell to the 10th, that would have been cool with this Higgins Mixon stack. And Joe Burrow, oh, that could have been beautiful. Let me check out my roster. So I'm still missing a tight end. It actually looks like the tight end fall off has happened pretty drastically. I don't want to take Fant here. I realistically have every single tight end between numbers 8 and 23. I have them... Oh, no. Yeah, let's say 26. Between 8 and 26, I have them all in the exact same tier. And I would be willing to take them all kind of around the bottom of the draft. And I'd rather just do waiver wires and just do matchups at that point because I already didn't get one of the top 3 dudes. Like, if Waller or Kittle had fallen to me, I would have potentially chosen him. If Kelsey had fallen, I would have taken him. If Hawkinson or Pitts had fallen to like the 7th, maybe. But overall, I think I'm going to just be skipping on tight end and just going off one of these late dudes. I'm going to grab 2 of them and we'll do that. With that being said, there's a ton of wide receivers I like here. I like Curtis Samuel. I like Corey Davis. I like Antonio Brown. I like Michael Gallup. I don't really like Marquise Brown. I don't really like Mike Williams, especially not with Keenan Allen and Justin Herbert stack. I don't like that at all. I don't think that Mike Williams is somebody that would make it into my roster on a weekly basis. Marvin Jones, Jalen Waddle, somebody that I would like. He's just because like realistically, choosing this wide receiver for, he's gonna end up being on my bench for at some point, and so he needs to have upside. Gotta have upside. I've already got these kind of like floor and upside mix with these guys, and I've got these top end running backs. I really think I should hammer in running backs and then just do all upside with these wide receivers, because Curtis Samuel is just somebody that I consider to have a lot of upside, but pretty much as much upside as an Antonio Brown, as a Michael Gallup, as a Jalen Waddle. I don't see it, Russell Gage even. I see them all as the wide receiver 2 on their team. Doesn't really have a chance to overtake and become the wide receiver 1 on their team, but can be some good fantasy value and be a good wide receiver 2. And I don't really see Curtis Samuel breaking into the wide receiver 1 and passing Terry McLaurin ever, so I just see him as the same. Mostert, Gordon, Damian Harris, David Johnson, Ronald Jones, Leonard Fournette. Holy shit. Raheem Mostert is still on the board. Ugh. All right, well, out of all these running backs, I think I'm just going to take 2 running backs that I like, finish that off, and then just start to slam in those wide receivers once it comes all the way back, because I just know that there's wide receiver value late. And then I'll grab a dart throw running back like a Chuba Hubbard or Ramondre Stevenson. And I'll grab my tight ends in the very end, somewhere around there, and I will grab my backup QB, probably end up being Darnold or Jones. I really don't see anything I just named out of all those going within the next 3 rounds. Like Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones, Ramondre Stevenson, Chuba Hubbard. They're not getting taken. Some of these tight ends that I like Rob Gronkowski, Gerald Everett, Jared Cook, Adam Troutman, Jonnu Smith, Tyler Higbee, Mike Gesicki, just every single tight end I'm fine with. They're all in the exact same tier for me. So I actually think I should just take my highest rated running back, which is Leonard Fournette. Leonard Fournette, the 8-10. It says that I'm reaching for him here, but I really don't think that I am. I think he's just clearly above those dudes. Now, who do I like out of this? Now, I do this every time where I take Kenyon Drake in hopes that A.J. Dillon falls to me. Because I have A.J. Dillon 2 spots below Kenyon Drake. But he never falls to me. He never falls to me. But I will take Kenyon Drake in hopes that A.J. Dillon will fall to me. Trey Sermon, somebody who's gone. Right. Oh, wow, they get taken early. Okay. All right. I mean, yeah, Mostert and Gordon, someone that are just dead to me. No upside. I don't even think they have running back 2 upside. I think they are running back 3s. And if you come and look at the roster, I already have a pretty good running back 3, and I definitely would put Fournette above Gordon and Mostert, especially with like age and that that postseason run that the Buccaneers just had, that's got to be an obvious choice. So, that being said, I'm just going to go with my highest rated running back again, Kenyon Drake. All right. A.J. Dillon did not fall once again. I should move him up in my rankings because I'd rather have A.J. Dillon. I just take Kenyon Drake every single time because I think that A.J. Dillon will fall. And he doesn't. He doesn't ever. And I should just be taking A.J. Dillon in the 9th. I really just should be. I am a firm believer that Aaron Rodgers is just divaing it up right now, and he fully intends to play in Green Bay. And I don't know what he's not doing, like not in training camp. This is fun. Logan Thomas fell to me in the 10th. I kind of think that this is a value pick for Logan Thomas, especially with Noah Fant and Irv Smith going off before him. I definitely think this is a value pick. There's a million different QBs. I know I got this Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen stack, but God. Like, taking a QB late is just so nice. Because what would I rather have? Ryan Tannehill and who am I going to end up taking? Oh my God. I'm going to end up taking Russell Gage or I'd rather just do a dart throw running back. Russell Gage is definitely my highest rated wide receiver. Russell Gage, Logan Thomas. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to take Logan Thomas. I'm actually going to take Logan Thomas, and hopefully Russell Gage will fall to me. Oh, a steal. 86. Sniped. What the fuck was that? It, like, loaded in. It heard me. I swear it heard me. I'll punt on another QB later. That was ridiculous, though. Okay. I actually have Bateman. Let me go to my wide receivers over here. I have Bateman one spot down. I actually have Paris Campbell ahead. So, I mean, Paris Campbell can fall to me. How many wide receivers do I have? I only have 3. I do want to get to 5. I'm going to do 2 QBs, 2 tight ends, 5 running backs, 5 wide receivers, maybe 6 running backs, and we'll see where the value falls. We'll see how good the waivers end up being. I don't want to reach on Paris Campbell here. Bateman is somebody I have behind Russell Gage and Paris Campbell. I also have Gabriel Davis in here. I just think Cole Beasley's an absolute bum. And yeah, he was good in PPR, but I just think he's a bum. I'd rather have Gabriel Davis. So let's think about this. Tannehill in the 11th. Ah, that would have been nice. Tons of tight end value. I mean, Jamal Williams is just meh. I'd rather have a dart throw than any of these dudes just in the last round. None of these dudes are going away. Like, honestly, I think that the best value here is just to take a Robert Tonyan or Mike Gesicki, because all of the dudes that I want are not getting taken by the time it gets back to me. And I would definitely have Robert Tonyan above some of these guys. Like, I don't even know who to take. You know what? I'm gonna take. I don't even know who to take because I feel like they're all gonna fall back to me. Running back. No. Wide receiver, QB, tight end. Okay. All right, I'm done with running back. I think with Saquon, Joe Mixon, David Montgomery, Leonard Fournette, and Kenyon Drake, I really shouldn't need a dart throw on like a Chuba Hubbard or Ramondre Stevenson. And I should be able to get the full value out of these dudes. If both of them go down, or including like a Montgomery going down, I actually just have 0 chance. And if this Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen stack fails, then my team is gone. So instead we will... You know what? I know I hate Mike Williams, and I have him a billion spots lower. With this Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen stack, I'd rather have Josh Palmer over Mike Williams. I'd rather have Guyton. I'd rather have Tyron Johnson. I don't like the value of Mike Williams, but I know he's not going to be here when it's back in. You know what? If Herbert pops off and Mike Williams is a solid wide receiver too, and I missed out on it because of a personal bias I have with Mike Williams getting injured and every single wide receiver just looking insanely good because of Herbert, I think I wouldn't go Mike Williams, but I'm going to go Mike Williams here. That was a tough one to sit on. Oh, and all the wide receivers are still here. Okay. So, it looks like all of the running backs have gone away. And I kind of now fully committed to not doing a running back. So I could choose my highest rated wide receiver here, which is Paris Campbell. I could grab Evan Engram in the 12th. You know what? I love this Evan Engram play. I love this Evan Engram, and here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Evan Engram, and I'm going to grab this Daniel Jones. I'm going to do that instead of Darnold with Robbie Anderson. I'm going to do it. I didn't get Burrow, so last stack I will do Daniel Jones with Evan Engram and Saquon Barkley. So this gives me two potentials for a stack. Wow, I definitely should have taken... I don't know. It's close. All right, last pick. It wants me to take a handcuff running back. It wants me to handcuff Saquon Barkley to Devontae Booker. And why? Why does it want me to do that? If Saquon Barkley goes down, do you know what happens to my team? Evan Engram has lost value. Daniel Jones has lost value. My number one pick has lost value. I'm now starting Joe Mixon and David Montgomery in my running back slots, and I'll have to flex either Fournette, Drake, Robbie Anderson. And all of my late round dart throws have been awful, which is a complete whiff. So my win rate will probably go from, I don't think if Saquon Barkley goes down, I am ever playing Devontae Booker above a Fournette. Like, why? Why would I play Devontae Booker above Fournette? Devontae Booker is not as good as Fournette. He's on a worse team than Fournette. And he is nowhere near the talent level of a Saquon Barkley. Let me see how old he is. He's done 5 years as a running back. He's done 5 years. Look at how many games this is. Played it all. He barely gets any attempts. He barely does anything every single year. He is not a running back that I am looking for. He's not a running back I'm looking for. Like, check it out. He was in Denver. He spent his last year in Vegas. They easily replaced him with Kenyon Drake. They gave a bunch of money for. And I would so much rather have a dart throw that's not on my team, where the dart throw can hit without me losing my number one guy. Because if the Devontae Booker dart throw hits, this is the whole reason why I'm stacking. I'm doing all of these correlated bets so that when one of them hits, they all hit. And it will change my win rate from 8% to up to 20%. And if my correlated bet misses, it'll change my win rate from 8% to like 1%, which I'm fine with, because if you do the math on that, if like it's a 50-50 bet, you would be gaining on average like 12% win rate in your league, 13%, which is great. Like, everybody has to do something to set them apart. And these correlated bets will set you apart, especially with this late round value. So pretty much every single one of my late round, I could take a dart throw on an Adam Trautman, a Gerald Everett. These are just some guys I like. Rashad Bateman, Paris Campbell, Traquan Smith, somebody that I don't hate, Terrace Marshall, KJ Hamler, Amari Rogers. Tyron Johnson. Donovan Peoples-Jones. These are guys that, like... Oh, Cordero Patterson still considered a wide receiver. He's actually the backup to Mike Davis. His ADP is really way too low. That's funny. His ADP. Oh, Josh Palmer. Somebody that I would love to take. See, there's actually just so much value. If this went to 20 rounds, I could fill it up with dudes. Oh, that the computer just has ranked so low. Oh, Chuba Hubbard got taken. Well, I could do my dart throw on Stevenson. Stevenson's somebody that I like doing a dart throw on. Wait. Where's Stevenson? Oh, here he is. Somebody that I like doing a dart throw on is Ramondre Stevenson. Let's check out the roster. So, I have a stack of Justin Herbert and Keenan Allen. I have Saquon Barkley and Joe Mixon as my top 2 running backs. I have T. Higgins as my wide receiver 2. Logan Thomas as my tight end. David Montgomery as my flex. Robbie Anderson, Fournette, Kenyon Drake, Mike Williams, Evan Ingram, and Daniel Jones all on my bench. The position I would like a little bit more depth at is wide receiver versus a third QB or a third tight end. And I will definitely be grabbing a wide receiver here. My number 1 ranked wide receiver is Paris Campbell. If Carson Wentz returns to his MVP-like form of the Super Bowl year, then the Colts will be a very, very productive offense. I would assume that Jonathan Taylor would be a great value at that point. And also, probably, Paris Campbell is more likely to become the wide receiver 1 over Michael Pittman and over T.Y. Hilton. T.Y. Hilton just too old. He's just a speedster guy, and he's lost the speed. Michael Pittman hasn't proven himself within the league yet. He definitely has some room to grow, and he did end up playing a full season. But Paris Campbell, we just haven't seen play a full season, and I, on his team, wide receiver 1 potential. And if Carson Wentz actually turns out to be a good quarterback in the system with Frank Reich again, and he just returns to MVP form, Paris Campbell could be a fantasy wide receiver 1. And that's where I want to be throwing my darts. I don't even think Mike Williams is a wide receiver 1 fantasy value. But the Chargers they just have a lot of upside right now, especially with this full Herbert, Keenan Allen stack. I actually don't like Austin Eckler in this spot. I think that the goal line carries are going to actually go to Justin Jackson or Larry Roundtree. Eckler is only 5'8", and those other guys have a few inches on him and like 10 pounds. And yeah, I know Eckler's a beast and he's a very strong man for his size, but he's not the goal line running back, and the Chargers have shown that they won't use him. Also, Joshua Kelly is a bum. I don't know if you saw him on the field last year, but he's a bum. He's a bum. You can't play him. He is just a bum. I don't understand how Justin Jackson and Joshua Kelly have the exact same ADP, because Justin Jackson, before he got hurt, was just so clearly miles ahead of Joshua Kelly. It was unbelievable. And then he had that one game where he was supposed to play, and he got injured in practice, and everybody kind of hated him because I played him and he goose-egged for me. But he was slated to be the number 1 running back without Kelly, for sure. And I think drafting Roundtree in the 6th or 7th, wherever they drafted him, I think that kind of shows their disappointment in Joshua Kelly. I don't even know if Joshua Kelly is going to stay on the team the full year. He was just a bum when he was playing. He was a bum. So I will not be taking a Justin Jackson with my I would be considering a Justin Jackson with my Justin Herbert stack. It's kind of just like, do I want to commit more into the Chargers with a 4th Charger? Because if Eckler goes down again, or Justin Jackson ends up getting a ton of goal line work and the Chargers pop off, then it would be nice if I could fill in one of these spots. But in this roster, it's so shallow. It's very, very shallow. My team is so shallow, and the bench is so shallow, and there is just so many different people on the waiver wire that I would be willing to pick up. Like, if I had 10 more bench spots, I would have clear people that I would just love to have on my team that I have done research for, that hopefully other people in the league just go off of name value and does not end up knowing, like, guys like Rashad Bateman could end up being the wide receiver one in Baltimore. And if Lamar Jackson is able to show any sort of passing down usage, then he could be a really, really good player, NFL-wise and fantasy. But I think I will have to go with Paris Campbell. He hasn't shown anything. Take a look at his stats here. He's never really played a game before. He's 24 total receptions in his career in 2 years. 24. I will be drafting Paris Campbell. He hasn't shown anything, but a lot of upside. Okay. Now, they gave me an A. Well, I clearly didn't go with the guy that they suggested almost ever. I went with Mike Williams, who they suggested, and I think Logan Thomas were the guys that they suggested, and every other pick. Oh, no, Evan Ingram, somebody that I'm fine with this, Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley. I really like how this team turned out stack-wise. I think I got some really, really cheap stacks. If we go and bring it up by roster here, let's see. So I've got a shit tight end room, obviously. My running back room is pretty nice, though. I'm a big fan. I was able to get them real early. Getting Kenyon Drake in the 9th really sealed it up that I was just done with running back right there. Because Kenyon Drake is somebody that I think that could be played at week to week. Josh Jacobs is just, he isn't it. I'm a big fan of this team. Got some Bengals. Oh, it would have been so dirty if instead of this stupid Evan Ingram, Daniel Jones thing I did at the end, if I instead ended up getting like a Joe Burrow. So this Michael, God, I wanted Russell Gage here. He was the guy that I would have wanted there. Or a Gallup or a Brown if they had fallen, but damn. Wow, they really did take all my picks in this one. I was a fan of how this roster was turning out until it kind of got to these dart throws at the end, but hopefully that doesn't really matter to my team. What I really wanted to do with this video is kind of go through this third position, which I think is definitely the hardest to choose, and round by round go through how you're going to be able to construct this team, because the third pick, you know which guys you're going to get to choose from for that third pick, and they're all kind of in the same tier. I mean, Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott, Alvin Kamara, Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, or those are it. Those are ones that I could say will all end up being okay at the 3 through 7. Like, I don't know if you just go back and look at last year's draft, like the 3 through 7, they were all dank picks, and they were all pretty even. Like, I ended up getting Ezekiel Elliott in my draft, and he was dank for a little bit, and then he fell off, obviously. And if I had gone with Kamara or Cook or somebody who was in the exact same range, I would have done better in my league. I ended up winning it, but that was mostly because of Jefferson and Herbert picking up off the waiver wire, and everyone kind of sleeping on them. I also grabbed Ayuk from the waiver wire, and I had Ezekiel Elliott and Derrick Henry. So that worked out for me. So kind of how I wanted to end this video is just
have you guys go to the comments, and if you want, you can rate my team, see if I made any mistakes. But overall, pretty happy with the way that the roster construction came down. Some of my picks got sniped, but I think that I chose my top running back and top wide receiver at the right places and grabbed value where it fell. The only thing that I really think that I reached on was Herbert, and I'd probably reach on him again, knowing that Joe Burrow went in the seventh round. Knowing that, I think it was great that we got Justin Herbert, because I was really trying to get Joe Burrow in the 9th or 10th, and if I didn't get Justin Herbert in the 6th, I would have probably taken Joe Burrow when he came back to me. But if Herbert and Joe Burrow had both been gone, then I would have been taking Darnold and Jones as my QBs, and that would have been very, very sad. But overall, I don't like taking QBs early. And at the 6'10", that's kind of like the first place I would even consider taking a QB, really. Like, I would take, like, a Kyler Murray in the 4th and 5th if I had DeAndre Hopkins. But then I'm kind of waiting. Like, Herbert, I'd be okay with in the 8th. But I had Keenan Allen. So you kind of want to make these correlated bets and just get your guy. Get your guy. Make sure he doesn't go away. Because I think in this year's draft, reaching is going to end up being so much better than letting the value just fall to you. Because if you're in a draft with a bunch of casuals, sure, you can just like let the value fall and take the people that are clearly not bums and not going to be the Todd Gurley of the year, where they're pretty relevant for the first half, and then all of a sudden everyone's like, oh, this 26-year-old man has the knees of an 80-year-old grandma and can't play the game. And I think that there's going to be some Todd Gurleys in this draft, and I don't know who they are, but one of these people is just not going to be able to continue and not going to be on the team, and they're not even going to be injured, and it's too hard to predict who that is. So gotta take some dart throws, gotta make these correlated bets. David Montgomery, somebody that I'm liking with the recent news of Tariq Cohen. T. Higgins, somebody that I'm always been a fan of with Joe Burrow. Robbie Anderson, he's just a big meh. He's just going to be a solid backup wide receiver, and he'll be a nice bench to fringe guy that I can play on a week-to-week basis. And if Sam Darnold turns out to be the QB upgrade that we all kind of hoped that he would, and Curtis Samuel leaving some more targets for Robbie Anderson, if this offense kind of sees a step up with McCaffrey healthy for the whole year, then Robbie Anderson has some upside. But overall, I'd probably be looking to trade him. I'd be looking for his value to climb into this 4th round tier, like halfway through the season, and then I'd be trying to get like a Robert Woods or an Amari Cooper. Maybe somebody that's just a little bit slow to start, but I know will have a lot more value later on than a Robbie Anderson. So if he can pop off at the beginning, I'll be looking to trade away him and get some value. Same with like a Mike Williams. Like, I would absolutely love if Mike Williams just had a great first week, and the guy who owned Michael Gallup or Laviska Shenault, like Laviska Shenault or Michael Gallup or Devonta Smith, just had a really, really bad game, and Mike Williams had a great game, I'd be like, oh, get rid of Mike Williams. Get rid of him. Get Michael Gallup. He's just such a clear tier ahead to me. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out. I know it's against the bots, so I was able to get some extra value, probably with this Joe Mixon pick. That's probably not going to happen very often, where he can get him at the 210. Probably not with this recent news about Tariq Cohen getting David Montgomery at the 410. This wasn't a reach. This is a little bit of a reach. This is pretty normal. I got a little bit of value from Fournette and 810. That's probably a little bit late, but I mean, the thing will tell you that Melvin Gordon and Raheem Mostert are better value. And then I also have Logan Thomas, who was decent value. I'm really glad I was able to stay off of the tight ends for these rounds. That was really good. These 7, 8, and 9 rounds, I'm really glad I got these backup running backs and Robbie Anderson, because I could have taken Logan Thomas here. He was probably one of the top tight ends of this range, and was able to get him 3 rounds later. So a lot of good value there. Able to get Evan Ingram before. I guess I don't know. They're all in the same tier. They're all waiver wire guys. If any of these teams really stand, I think this Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas, Clyde Edwards-Helaire team looks fun. This one looks like trash. Like, great Cam Akers value, great Allen Robinson's value, great Chris Godwin value, awful Lamar Jackson value, great Kareem Hunt value, great Laviska Shenault value, great Jarvis Landry value. I don't like Damian Harris, but good value. And then you took DK Metcalf in the first instead of Alvin Kamara or Derrick Henry or Jonathan Taylor. And you shit the bed. You shit the bed with this pick, Money Pitts. You didn't even grab Kyle Pitts or Michael Pittman. Money Pitts, what are you doing? What are you doing, Money Pitts? God, Money Pitts. Okay, well, that was the draft. I know I talked for a while after most of the picks were made, but I had some ideas that I wanted to share about the way that this draft kind of fell and where the value was gotten. Because if you kind of like just blur your eyes a little bit and look at the colors, see a lot of green in these 3 to 6 rounds, and then you sprinkle in those QBs and tight ends, but really just not a lot of running backs in this range. And I would definitely be trying to stay away from running back from this 3 range all the way into the 6th, because I know I took David Montgomery there, but I think that was just some fallen value. But in general, historically, taking guys in this range, the running backs just don't work out very often. And that's why you see all these running backs that are basically all upside. Like a Melvin Gordon or a Raheem Mostert, they're going to be taken out of their offense. But if the rookie that's there gets injured and the offense pops off, like they get Aaron Rodgers, obviously Melvin Gordon is going to turn into what could be a high-end or running back 2 that you got insanely late value for. And if you have like a need, you can fill him in. But I do like the fact that I was able to save all of these to the end. I did have plenty of dudes that I could have grabbed that were still up on there. But overall, I do like it. Justin Herbert, Saquon Barkley, Joe Mixon. I'm a big fan. I would have put money on this league if I could have. Justin Herbert with the Keenan Allen stack. T. Higgins. David Montgomery. I really like seeing David Montgomery in the flex here. That is great value, because I think a lot of people are going to have him as their running back too. I have him as the running back 20, so he's going to be a lot of people's RB2. This is great value. And I like getting these running backs early. I can fill it in with I can fill in the wide receiver easy. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe and comment your favorite team down below.